Okay. Live after much delay. After much delay, we're back to live. Let me see if anybody is showing up. I'm sure it'll start happening here in a few seconds. So, happy Thanksgiving, everybody, everywhere. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving where you are, you really should. It's a pretty awesome holiday. So, all right, Curmudgeon, Joshua, welcome, fellas. How's it going? You guys have a good Thanksgiving. New Zealand. There's Mark. Mark is our special guest today. He's the one that got me figured out how to do the virtual machine stuff. So he's on call here to help me out, walk me through as we go through doing it again. Just finished Thanksgiving. Oh, I love Thanksgiving. Yes, rough day for Michigan. Oh, so sad. Golly. When can we get a break, huh? Gee whiz. Hector, Joel, Jeff, how's it going, everybody? Paul, howdy. What's the plan for today's stream? That's a great question. No, we have the answer for that question. Today's stream, what won the poll was virtual machine, loading Hassio as a virtual machine. So that's what we're going to do today. The first time you made it, Cortex, fantastic. Bobby, how you been, man? Haven't seen you in forever. Awesome. Look at you guys just popping right in. Greetings from Ohio, just starting out. Thanks for all your help. You are welcome, Matt. You are welcome, even though you're from Ohio. Sorry, I'm hurting today. It's painful. I have to emotionally detach myself from football. It's not healthy, probably. All right. An unknown dual outlet with power monitoring on the way from Amazon, hoping it can flash it with Tasmota. Well, we'll find out, Curmudgeon. We'll find out together. All right. Hey, from Australia, finally see one. I'm glad. So I usually try to do this in the morning. You guys, most of you guys know that. Today, I still had family in town. My two sisters, 10 kids between the two of them, plus spouses, just left this afternoon around noon or so. And so my mom's still here. We're finally getting kind of winding down from the Thanksgiving holiday weekend and getting ready to move back into work week and all tomorrow, school and work and all that stuff. So sorry for the delay. Later stream today. Hopefully a lot of the European guys will still make it, but they're, it's middle of the night for those fellas. But we got our Australian and Japanese guys, everybody on the other side of the world can join us tonight. So should be a good one. All right. Jeff Hammer, live in Columbus, but bleed maize and blue. Golly, I'm bleeding for sure. So hard. All right. From Aussieland. Great. Okay. So how many of you, are using a virtual machine already to run Home Assistant? Anybody besides me and Mark, and I think Paul's doing it too. Who else? From the Netherlands, bit late, but you're still up. Thank goodness, Steph. I'm glad you're here, man. Glad you're here. I got to figure out a way to make this chat box bigger so that I can see it with my aging eyeballs. My eyes are just getting older and older. Virtual machine for Bobby. Awesome. Unraid. Yep. Oh, so a lot of you guys are doing the virtual machine. Okay. Well, good. Maybe, Paul switched after the MQTT disaster. Same here. Hey, C, how's it going? Hey, from Belgium, Vincent. Flashed the pie for it. All right. So Italy. Hey, Tim. All right. So what we're going to do, Firefly reference. Cortex is your name, Firefly reference or something else. Cool. All right, Docker Synology, Unraid. So Unraid, tell me about that. That's a server. Is that true? I'm not too familiar with that. So Docker on Synology, me too, VM. Okay, great. Well, what this is going to be is a walkthrough of the setup for a virtual machine with HassOS. That was what won the poll that we did for what topic should we do for this live stream, and it won by a lot. It was 30+%, I think, by the time we closed it down last night. So even though it seems like a lot of you guys are already using a virtual machine, there's probably a lot that aren't. And after potentially, maybe because of this MQTT disaster we had a lot of people lose their SD cards. And, when you get to the point that you're using Home Assistant for a lot of things, the Pi does eventually get old. Eventually you're going to want to move out of that into something else, something that'll boot faster, something where you can expand the disk space without, doing a whole new install and a bunch of things. So that's what we're going to do. So that's what virtual machine is, one option for that. So that's what we're going to do. What MQTT disaster, Sean? Oh, you guys missed it? Oh my goodness sakes. Well, without going too much into it, it was an update of Mosquito that essentially broke MQTT brokers for a lot of people. If you had a configuration set up in your config.yaml file, but you updated to this the newer Mosquito, then it did some integration to be more of a, I don't know exactly the details on the inside of it, but essentially you ended up with two MQTT brokers at the same IP address, and everything just imploded. And what happened to me and Paul and I think several others is that you had a lot of reads and writes on your SD card in a very short period of time, and eventually it just went and gave up the ghost, as they say. So a lot of us lost everything that day. That was a couple weeks ago. It was miserable, but anyways, we got through it. Everything's fixed now. And so this is one of the results of that, for me at least, was switching over to virtual machine. So we're going to do that. To fix the MQTT, I had to create a username and password and delete the integrations and re-add MQTT. Yep. Yeah, it's easy to fix, and it won't happen again to anybody, but it was sure ugly. Hey, Travis, did you blur? You made it. Evening stream. Yay. This one's just for you. Just for you. Backing up is a good thing. Yeah, I backed up, but not often enough. I lost too many backups. Part of the problem with backups for me was my SD card on my Pi was too small, and it took forever. It took forever because my database was too big and a bunch of things. So doing it this way is a lot better. Won't happen ever again. That's right. Hey, from Oz, how's it going, Chris? All right. So, a couple things I wanted to say at the beginning was I want to do, and I didn't have time today, unfortunately, to do it. Still, like I said, still entertaining and stuff. But I need to set up a giveaway for that camera, for that PoE camera. I don't know where it went. It's sitting around my desk here somewhere. But anyways, I want to set that up. And Alian was gonna. He gave me an idea of how to do it. But what do you think I should do? Should I do it just based on people that are interested, or just general members in Discord, or general members in Facebook, or subscribers in YouTube? Like, what seems fair? What's the good way to give away that camera? And then I'm going to do a HA switch plate also. Should I have separate, like, if you want to win it, if you want a part of chance of winning it, then you sign up in some way, like put your name in something, just so I know, because there might be people, I don't want somebody to win it who doesn't want it. What do you think? Let's see what Mark says. Subscriber comment. YouTube. Do it through YouTube. Hey, Tony. How's it going, man? Feeling okay? Always thinking about your health, brother. Hope you're doing well. Any downside to moving to VM? Boy, not that I've found. Not compared to the Pi. Maybe we can talk about it. It'll probably come up. So you can guess the closest number of ESP-based boards DrZzs has. If you want to win it, you have to subscribe for all 3 platforms. That's a good one. Sign up type deal saying who you want it. Yeah, I like that, Travis. I think that's probably a wise thing to do. Need to run a PC or some device 24/7. Yeah, Mark's got a good point. So what's the downside to VM? It's a bigger machine, and you need to be running that PC that you install it on all the time. So you can't ever turn it off. Or if you do, it'd be the same as pulling the plug on your Pi and you'd shut down your Home Assistant. So, not ideal in that way. So it does use a lot more energy. I know some people, they use the Pi because they really want to save on just how much energy they use in a day. And a Pi is going to use a whole lot less than one of these big honking PCs like I'm now running mine on. But the PC's running anyways. So I was running the PC and the Pi. So in my case, I'm using a little bit less. So heart surgery next week. TAVI or open chest? Don't know yet. Oh man. Well, we do a lot of those. We do a lot of those TAVIs at my hospital. They turn out really well. So hopefully you're a good candidate for that, and hopefully it works out well for you, Tony. We'll be praying for you, brother. And VM is a bit more complicated to set up. So we're gonna walk through the setup, and we'll do it that way. So the deciding fact, the decision, I think, is I will put out a notice on I'll put out a notice on Facebook and on Discord and just through the community tab on YouTube. So everybody gets it, and it will say, if you want to win this camera, then, you know, whatever, put your name in here. I'm sure there'll be some sort of a website or something where we'll say, you know, put your name in here, and then it'll probably be an email so that I can contact whoever it is. And then I'll generate some randomness and pick somebody, and then I'll do it again for other things. Because I have more things that I need. I really do. I've got to the point where people want to send me stuff, and I think it's cool. I want to try it, but there's no use it just sitting in my closet. So, you know, we'll start doing that. It's kind of funny. It's not a gimmick like, hey, watch my videos and I'll give away stuff. It's more like, hey, I got this extra stuff. I'm not going to use it. Hopefully somebody else can, and we'll just pass it on down. You guys can get some use out of things that otherwise would just be sitting in my closet. I could just give it to you, Aaron. Cool. Queensland, Australia. Hey, Adrian, how's it going? Okay, so let's get it started. Let me make sure there's no other important things I need to read here. What PC am I running my VM on, Steph? I'm running it on a Windows 10 i7. This is the machine that the kids play virtual reality on. So this is the one that we have the Oculus Rift hooked up to. It's also what I'm streaming from, what I do a lot of my video recording on. So it's a pretty powerful. It's 1080 Ti graphics card and 16 gig of RAM and all these things. So it's a bit of a powerhouse. It's a hog. I think it's got a 750 watt power supply. So, and it gets hot. It runs a lot and it gets hot. So I am not helping decrease the decrease the electricity use by running this thing. That's for sure. Hey, hermano. Hey, Charlie. I love just saying hi to everybody. So I'm glad we take a few minutes. Genius on the J channel sighting trick for mounting. Thanks, Chris. That was tricky. You know, I was just working on some lights with my brother-in-law. We were talking about doing his lights because it's Thanksgiving, so brother-in-laws and all were here. And we were working on his lights. And he lives in Las Vegas, and he could not get that J channel. They just, like, no Home Depot, no Lowe's, no place down there has it. So he's either going to have to find something else, or potentially we're going to have to buy some of it here and, you know, on a trip we take down there, strap it to the roof of the van or something and haul it down there for him. So, oh, and there's Mark's computer, HP 8840G1 i5. Cool. i5 laptop. Yeah, an old laptop's probably a good way to do it too. Be lower power consumption. You don't need all this power. You don't need all this stuff that I'm using. But it's just nice if you have it already running to use that. So why not directly on Windows? Well, because I want to run Hassio. That's why. I don't want to run Home Assistant and then do everything separately. I think there is there a Windows install for Home Assistant? I'm not even 100% sure. Anyways, let me get started. All right. We have, thanks to Mark, some fantastic instructions on how to do this. And I'll post this. In fact, let's see. I don't think I can. I'll find a way to post this. How can you post that, Mark? Can you do it? Can you post it to the live channel in Discord? Would you do that for us? Your document? I know Mark's listening. And he can respond too. If Mark says yes, we'll all hear it. So don't burp, Mark. Okay. So anyway, so we've got this good document here that Mark put together. Excellent. We've got this good document here that Mark put together, and it's some basic instructions. So first thing you got to do is download, of course, the VirtualBox is what we're using. This is the free. This is from Oracle. So we download this guy, and I've already done that. It's right here. So you don't have to wait for anybody to download that. Then, oh, you know what, Mark? We didn't do this extensions when we didn't do the extensions when we, I bet mine already has these extensions. Me and Mark just went through and did another example of this in the last half hour or so, and we didn't do this part. We're going to save it. Anyways, you need VirtualBox. You need these extensions as well. Yeah, I hear you. I know there's a delay between me and what you guys hear, so it'll probably.
Extensions are used for for video.
You can't hear Mark? Oh, let me make sure you can hear Mark. Hold on. Oh, sure you can. Really? Huh. Dang. Can't hear Mark, huh? No, it doesn't look like they can. Okay. Maybe. Okay, Mark's going to type it in. I hear him typing. I can hear him. You guys can't hear him. Sorry. Let's see. Maybe it's from here. Sorry, I'm just trying to get Mark's audio in here.
Can you hear me now?
Nobody? Nothing? Hello? Nothing? You guys still hear Mark? No? Oh, how about now? Can you say something, Mark?
How about now?
Something's happening. Oh no, now we're getting a double. Dang it. Can't hear him. Heard Mark for a second. How about now, Mark?
Now it's a little bit better.
No, I can't hear
now?
Mark though.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay. I'm assuming you can hear Mark better.
Hello?
He's really quiet. Okay, I can turn it up. The extensions are for drivers, for network cards, video cards, etc. Okay, cool. All right. Yes,
There's
you're hearing him.
huge
Good.
delay in
Okay.
here.
Well,
It's like
I'm not hearing him. So,
10 seconds.
unfortunately. I wonder if I can do anything about that here. I'm not going to mess with it. I want you guys to be able to hear him. So, anyways, okay. So, if you haven't, we did do, I did install this the very first time I did this. We didn't do it when we just did this example again. So, got you live. Hey, Emibunia. That's cool. That's a cool name. I like it. All right, so we're doing VirtualBox. First thing got to do, we'll just start this install process here. Oh, sweet. Are you sure you want to get? No. Okay, there we go. So we just got to install this. It's probably going to cut us off for a second, at least visuals, while it does this install. But anyways, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to install it. I don't care. Create shortcuts. Yeah, sure. It says it's going to interrupt the network. When we just tested it, it did not interrupt our communication through Discord. So hopefully it will not interrupt the stream. So we'll see. And there we go. Everything's still there. Oh, no. Yep. Okay, good. Not too bad. All right. We just won't tell me when he talks bad about me. Good. Just don't. I'd just rather not know. All right. Start VM Oracle after installation. Yes. And then here it comes. All right. So there it is. This is the VirtualBox manager. And now, honestly, what we're going to do is just run through this. What we already did was we did this VirtualBox. We didn't do this extensions. But like I even debated, I asked Mark, should we even go through this starting up and downloading part for the manager? Because if you're doing this and you can't get through that part of installing this, then maybe this isn't for you. So it's a simple thing. If you needed these extensions, it's probably a good idea to use them. It's not going to hurt anything to have them, and that way, if you do end up using something that requires them through Hassio, then you'll have them. So, and we already did this. Next. Yes, install, close. We did all that. Okay. Now, this is the part where he says install the extension pack. Okay, great. Now you got to go to this page, which is the download page for Hassio. And we'll go to this page. I want to open it. What is this doing? Oh, I see what it's doing. No, what I want to do, what I wanted to show you was just the page where you get this. Oh gosh, that's all I had to see. Jeez. All right, we're going to go here. We're going to go to the installs page. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to go to getting started and find the right one here. Let's see. Well, where is it? Where's the one I want? Alternative installation methods. Is that it? Why doesn't this look right? This doesn't look right. Hassio. Well, where's the power supply model? Oh, for your device. Here we go. This is the page. Yes, golly. So this is the page. We should probably link this. Well, no, Mark links directly to this. So this is what we need, this VMDK file, right? So this VMDK file is what you need. And I've already got it downloaded, so we don't have to wait for that. But that's the disk image of Hassio. So that's the same as sort of putting the image on an SD card with Etcher. You just get this image right here. It's just a specific image instead of being an image that's built for one of these machines up here. Okay? Got it? Good. All right, so now we're going to run the VirtualBox, which we got running over here. We're going to go to New. And we want it, the type is going to be Linux, Ubuntu 64. Can you guys see that? Is my fat head in the way? Fat head is in the way. There we go. The name, we're going to just call this, because I'm not really going to use this. Once we're done, I'm going to delete it. So we're just going to call this example. And next. And then we get to say, I'm going to follow along here with Mark's instructions also. So this is what we just did. Linux, Ubuntu, put the name in there that you want. We're going to leave this at 1 gigabyte. This is how much RAM you're going to allocate. You can go up or down with this. I wouldn't go down probably, but you could go up. Hey, Glenn. All right. Then the next bit, we're going to hit next on that. What we want to use is an existing virtual hard disk file. This is going to be the file that we just downloaded, that VMDK file. So here it is, right here. This is the folder that it just made. It just created this folder when I called this example and said I'm going to put Linux there. And then this is the VMDK file that I downloaded from that Home Assistant link. So that's what I'm going to use here. And once I get that there, I'm going to hit open. And eventually my computer catches up. There we go. Now we hit create. And there we go. We're on to this page. Now, once it's here, this is now going to be our new Home Assistant. This is kind of like our little pie. And when this says running, then you know it's running, and it'll tell you when it's off and on and all those things. So, did I see your donation, Steph? No, I'm sorry. Thank you, Steph. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Did it pop up on the screen? It should have. I'm sorry because I don't have the audio feedback right now, because I want you guys to hear Mark. So, but thank you, Steph. I appreciate that. It helps me want to keep it going. Helps me get to the point where I can retire and just do this all the time instead of go to my regular job. All right. So now we are going to hit, let's see what it says. We're going to follow along. So we hit this, we're going to right click, then we're going to go to settings. And then we have something to do on system first. We have to enable this EFI. Don't ask me what it means. Maybe Mark can tell you what it means. Give him a second to do that. Okay. Oh, I guess there's a space here. You can talk about how much memory you want it to have too, but we're just going to do this.
Yeah, and these next couple
enable
these steps are crucial.
And then we need to go down here to the
booting.
network tab, and we want attached to bridged adapter. Okay, that's what it's going to be. Then this should be this is my adapter in my computer, right? Should be. Now we're going to go to advanced, and where it says promiscuous mode, we're not sure about this. Mark said put it on. Maybe you don't need it. So maybe you guys know promiscuous mode necessary. We're gonna put allow all anyways, and hopefully it'll be fine. Okay. All right. So then let's see. Is there anything else in here that Mark says we need? I don't think so. So now we're going to click OK. And then what's next? All right. We're going to go up here to File, Virtual Media Manager. Okay. So now the next part we need to do is we need to, this is only set up as 6 gigabytes, a virtual size of 6 gigabytes. Not big enough. We need it to be bigger. So in order to do that, we can't use a VMDK virtual disk. We need to use a VDI virtual disk. So that allows it to look at traffic not for your machine. Okay. And we want that, right? Promiscuous is just for capturing foreign traffic. Okay. So maybe it's necessary, maybe it's not. Probably not. All right. I didn't need it. Perfect. Promiscuous mode lets the device see all the traffic on the network. Okay. Well, maybe it's not necessary then. Don't worry about it. All right. So next thing we need to do is we need to make a copy of this. So we're going to go copy, right? And then this is the one we want. Is that true? Choose copy, then click next. Choose VDI image. Oh, next. And then we want it to be a VDI image. Okay. Next. And then we want it to be dynamically allocated. All right. So it'll start small and then it'll grow bigger. All right. Next. And now we need to name it something. So I'm going to name it, I'm just going to name it Hass example. Okay. And then hit copy. And it thinks for a minute. Now, if it doesn't show up here, that's okay. We thought that was a problem, but it's not. All right. So now we're going to close this virtual media manager. And then we'll go back to settings. And under storage, we'll go to where this controller SATA is. And we'll hit this little button here that says add hard disk. And then we want to choose an existing, I believe. Yep. Choose existing disk. And then the one we want to choose is this one that I just found, the one that we just made here, which is this Hass example. So all we did was we took this disk and we copied it to a different format, but it's all the same contents. This is so we can expand how much hard disk space we give it. So we do that. And we'll open that one up. Where did it go? Choose that one. Let's make sure it's there. Why is it not there? Oh, there it goes. It's not there because it took a minute. Okay. And then we can actually get rid of this one if we want. This is the old one. So this is the new one, the VDI. This is the VMDK. So we want to just get rid of that. We don't need to show it there. So there it is. Done. All right. And now, once we do that, then we can hit OK. And we'll go through back up here, File, Virtual Media Manager. Now we have a disk type that we can expand the memory on. So instead of a virtual size of 6 gigabytes, we're going to go down here and make it 32 gigabytes. 32. And apply. And now you can see up here. Can you see? Nope, you can't see it because my fat head again. Right here, what it said 6, and then after I changed that, oh gosh, you couldn't see that either. Such a bonehead. All these things you can't see because you're looking at my ugly face. All right, so what I did was I grabbed this and then this was the VDI. And then I just went down here and typed in 32 right here. So you can make it whatever you want, but 32 is a good size. It's recommended size. If you're buying an SD card for a Pi, you could make it more. You could come back later and make it more, whatever. Don't you have to expand the partition as well? I do not think so. I think this is it. Once we do this, so right now it says that the actual size is not very big, but it can get up to that big. Maybe NatCrack, maybe somebody can answer that for you because I'm not sure. A trademark for Home Assistant these days. My face? Oh gosh. Oh no, that face. Oh good. Yes, the wink face. Okay, good. DrZzs is going to ban you Docker using folks. No, probably eventually I'll end up doing that too. It's just baby steps, you know. You got to understand a little bit at a time. It's the non-computer guys that we have to get up to speed with you guys, Travis. All right, so we did that. Now what we did was expanded the hard disk so that this can expand up to 32 gigabytes, but right now it's only using like a half a gigabyte, not maybe a third, really. All right, so we're done with that. Yay. Now let's move on. Let's see what we did that. So what's next? Congratulations, that's it. Now start your virtual machine and wait a few minutes. I can see when Mark's talking. So when Mark talks, I will try not to. All right, so that's it. Wait a few minutes, then boot and configure yourself. So we can do that. So there it is. When we start it, I'll start it normal start, right, Mark? If you start it headless, then, well, let's do it like I normally do it because it's what Mark taught me. I usually do headless start and then let it start. But then I click show. And then you can see it starting up here. This is like as if you were looking at the command line. And then I like to make this scalable because my old man eyes. Oh, now I can't move it. Oh, now it's stuck. For a super powerful computer, this thing sure freezes up sometimes. Yeah, it's stuck right now. Awesome. I don't think the VirtualBox froze up. I think the ViewBox froze. Wonder if I can unshow it. Yeah, it's stuck. It's thinking. Maximize the window. Okay. That won't do anything right now. If I click this, it'll actually close it, right? It'll close the whole VirtualBox. What's happening to my wonderful, fancy, awesome computer? It says it's only using 23, 35%. Shouldn't be bad. Huh. Anyways, what's the link for the instructions? The link for the instructions is going to be in the, we're going to post it in the Discord. So let me pull up where Mark's at. Actually, I wish I could just share this, Mark, which you already have posted here, but let me see if I can post it in the live stream. Let's see. Yeah, this thing is not, I'm going to have to shut it down. I'm going to stop it again. Should I just close it and do it again? What do you think? Cascade the windows. I can't do anything with this window right now. It's like it's not even really there. Look at that. I can't even shut it off. Don't shut down. Yeah. Stupid programs hang and use the next to no resources. What's up with that? Live 360 now open. Well, in the meantime, we're just going to chat. How about that? Thanks for the tutorial. You're welcome, Sean. The rest of this part, once you, if we could actually see what was going on here, well, maybe it'll still go. What we can do then, because I shut down my primary instance of Home Assistant for this, so now I can go to hassio.local and we can see if that thing's actually running yet. Yeah, there you go. So it is, even though my view screen froze up, it is actually running. And so now it will have a regular Hassio. Alejandro, you missed it. What are we doing? We just went through the process to set up Hassio as a virtual machine. So pretty cool. Docker, check out the post from Home System members. Awesome. Okay, cool. Here we are. So we're at this page. Our name is going to be example. Let's be really. And our password's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That'd be a dumb password. Don't ever make that your password. All right. And there we go. It's probably going to detect some things. Ba-bum. Posted it to the live stream in Discord. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Yes, he sure did. All right. Excellent. Let's see if I can link that even and pop it in here. Probably not, but I will, I'll have a link to this. And I think what we should really, this should be a part of the regular Home Assistant Discord stuff, or not Discord stuff, Home Assistant install page. Now that page where we downloaded this here. I think we need to, Mark, I think we need to take this document that you made and submit it here as far, edit it on GitHub and go in and do a pull request and have them incorporate your instructions here. It really needs to be part of this. So thanks for doing that for us. What questions you guys have? Now, I mean, once you're here, it's just a regular Hassio install. So now you can go here, and this already has some of the repositories already lined up. The community Hassio add-ons and the official ones are already here. So we'd go through here and we could do the Mosquito, and we do Samba and SSH. Although you don't need SSH because you can just use the view, but you can do SSH if you want. App daemon for HA dashboard. It's all here. So at this point, it's just a normal setup of Home Assistant. One of the cool things, or Hassio, one of the cool things is when you make changes, like if you made changes on the Pi and you wanted to restart, it would take, a couple minutes, a minute maybe. With this sucker, it is just bang, it's back. It is so fast. And yes, you can transfer all your configs. Yeah, we need to have access to the console to install things like Docker. I don't need a console. Yeah. Oh, I can tell you before. Oh gosh, what did I use at the console? Unable to reconnect. Yeah. What did I use at the console? I hadn't used the console. I didn't even have SSH on my most recent version of Home Assistant for a long time because I just didn't use it. And so when there was some point where it needed an update or something, I just didn't bother. Your Pi restarts in under a minute. Man, you're lucky. Mine, it wasn't horrible. I've heard people that had some real hard times where it would take 5 minutes plus. Mine was taking a minute or more, but when I can just click through it really fast like that, yeah, that's a restart. That was it. Super fast. Yeah, not the whole Pi, just Home Assistant. Because restart of Home Assistant, when you've made a big configuration change or any configuration change and you've got a lot of stuff, it's really fast. I think that's one of the best parts about it is, you want to make a change and make an update, it just goes super fast. And now when you add a new switch or anything, it will not show up anymore. How so, John? Won't show up where? Docker reboots in seconds. You Docker guys. All right, someday Travis will have to teach me how to do Docker, or Bobby or somebody, and then we'll do it. Taking 15 minutes. Now it's a dev machine. Yeah. The old Pi, this was my Pi here, and I almost gave it to my brother-in-law this weekend, but I thought, I might need it for something else. It's good to have those around. So when you guys run Docker, you're just running it on just regular, a PC hardware with Linux or something? Docker updates, downgrades, restarts. You can restart just the Hass service instead of the full Pi. Yeah. I mean, isn't it? Yeah. Just on Linux. Awesome. Docker for Windows is fine. Ubuntu, old laptop. Yeah. Docker runs on a Synology NAS. Awesome. Debian Linux. Cool. So, I think I got the hopefully through the stuff that somebody would need. Do you think somebody with some basic understanding would be able to do this? Oh, go ahead, Mark. What did you have to say? I saw you said something, or maybe you coughed. Oh, it appears I've been by myself on this call for more than 5 minutes. Oh, did you hang up? I guess it hung up on Mark. Okay. Maybe Mark's not here anymore. Is he? You still here, Mark? Okay. All right. Hey, so, well, now I can't really go back into my Home Assistant very easily. I have to go remount mine and start that. But anyways, you think it looks easy? I think this part was pretty easy. You've got some people that know how to do it that help. But if you can't follow these instructions, if you have trouble with these instructions, find Discord and hopefully go back through, watch this video. Hopefully we made it seem a little bit easier for you. Totally separate from Home Assistant install. If you have Home Assistant crashes, hello. How resource intensive is Home Assistant through a virtual machine? You tell it what it's going to use. So, you give it Oh gosh, was there a place, I can't remember, Mark, was there a place where we had to assign how many cores it could use or something of your processor? I can't remember that. But you kind of designate how much of the resources you want it to use. I think if you've got it running, on a pretty powerful machine, you can allocate quite a bit. I think so there you go. Mark says his is 4% utilization. I haven't done a test on this to see what mine is, but I know it's small. It's in the settings. Okay. We probably just left it at the default, whatever it was, but you can change how many or what resources it uses, how much resources it uses. So that's one of the nice parts about it. And you can edit the resources later. Yep. When the VM is shut down. Right. So if you're finding, it doesn't need as much as I assigned to it, you can make it less. If you find that you want it to run faster, you want to assign more, you can do those things. So run it in parallel with your Plex server. That's a great idea. Yeah. If you've got a machine that's good enough to run a Plex server, running this with it would be a great idea. Laptop runs nothing but VirtualBox. Yeah, I was thinking maybe if you have the machine that runs nothing else, that might be a good machine to use like these guys are doing with just Docker. But I don't know. I'm not ready. I've got so many things I want to do. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty on the Linux and the Docker and stuff right now. Someday, maybe. Does Hassio run on Docker or just Home Assistant? Recall something reading about add-ons. Hassio is Docker, really. Hassio is Docker, or is a custom image based on Docker. Is that a fair thing to say, guys? You guys that know more about it than I do? Just Docker. Linux is life. Hello from Montreal. If you're using Hyper-V, you can run memory and CPU dynamic and will only assign memory and CPU that you need. Cool. Oh, okay, great. Hassio runs inside a Docker. Yeah. I think Docker's a pretty cool idea. It's something I hadn't heard about. I didn't mess with Linux much I did probably 8 years ago or so, 8 to 10 years ago, and then I didn't for a long time until recently. So with that horsepower, you could probably convert Blu-ray in real time. Mine can. Really? Oh, that's awesome. About 60 megabytes of RAM and very little CPUs. Wow. Did your touchdown lights flash much? Blake, what are you trying to get at? What are you trying to say? We scored 39 points. We just didn't score 62 points. Recommend 4 gigabytes to run a VirtualBox and Hassio. Oh, okay, great. So let me, I'm just thinking about if there's anything else in this with VirtualBox and all this that we need to do. I don't think there is. So I'm going to shut this down. We will do a PCI safe shutdown. Connections lost. Yes, I'm sure it is. Powered off. Oh, good. That ugly window went away. Doing Hassio has been straightforward, but Node MCU with the latest OTA sketch has strange behavior, wrong sequences. Many thanks for the extra video on tweaks for that. What was that, Chris? Is that Tasmota or is that the lights? Boy, let's talk about lights. You guys want to talk about lights for a minute? How many of you guys have been doing something with the Christmas lights or the holiday lights? Right, the every holiday lights, you put them up. Yeah. Saturday was an ugly day at work. Thank you, Glenn. It hurts, man. Like it hurts. Like it hurts like it hasn't hurt in a long time. It hurts like Appalachian State hurt. And I just feel like, man, when are we going to get a break? Here's Ohio State that has looked like a JV team for the last month and a half, barely making it through games with Maryland and all this. And then they come out yesterday and play the best game they've played all year, like by far. And they just, yeah, man. Anyways. All right. Next year will be your DIY year. Just a few new house this year. Oh boy, new house. W's a W. Yeah, Doug. With the guy, short walk for me was on ABC Christmas lights for light fight one year. No way. Wow. We have a guy close by that does a really good job with his lights too. Mine I don't think are extraordinary. They're not crazy awesome. They're just nice, and it's nice to have them up for the whole year and to be able to do different things with them. You're doing the lights right now, Chris. So let's talk about this for a minute, because I'm thinking about the lights. Let's go look at that. Do you want to? Yeah, I want to close the tabs. I want to go to GitHub, and I want to look at the sketch, because I'm thinking about other people, and I'm thinking about people like my brother-in-law, and brother-in-laws, more than one, that want to do something cool like this with the lights, but they're probably not gonna want to do a lot of other Home Assistant stuff. They're not going to want to get in and do YAML. I can't tell them, okay, download the IDE and do all these things. So what I'd like to do, if it's possible, and let's have the discussion, or if it's not too difficult, obviously it's possible, but if it's not too difficult, is I'd like to take the sketch that we have, or I think the one that is the most up-to-date one that I've been using, that Mark's been helping me contribute some corrections to and some changes to and stuff. What I would like is for this sketch to become something that we can put on a D1 Mini and hand to somebody that they could then, plug some things in and without Home Assistant have it up and running. So what that would mean is we'd have to, but I want it to be the same. I want this sketch to be one. I want this to be the same sketch, I guess is what I'm saying. So I want to be able to still use MQTT for this, but there's like what Blake's talking about, doing yours with a sketch without Home Assistant, create a PHP page that sends MQTT messages. Okay, Blake, show me how you do that. That's what I want to know. Definitely McLighting. I've heard about McLighting. I should probably look into that more again. I've looked very briefly at it. I saw where the guy had like he was controlling one ESP chip, and then everything else was cloning off of that or something like that. ESP Home YAML. Does that do it? I don't know. Use Node Red. It's got to be something that they're never gonna like. I want to be able to, this would be ideal. Let me describe it, what would be ideal, and we'll see if it's possible or what would be the way to do it. So I give my brother-in-law some lights, okay? And I put a sketch on the D1 Mini, okay? Give him the power supply and the lights and everything, and have him just plug it all in, and then tell him, okay, now go to your phone and look for this Wi-Fi address. Go to that Wi-Fi, or not address, but SSID. Go to your SSID and then put in your Wi-Fi username and password. Okay, great. Now it's going to connect to your network. And now put in something .local, right, in a browser on your phone, and be able to pull up a page on your phone that will show a bunch of different options for the lights, the different effects, the speeds, all that stuff. So that's what I want is McLighting. Do I want them to have the ability to change the patterns? I want them to be able to change from one pattern to another, but not necessarily. They don't have to be able to go in and customize them, change the colors necessarily, customize the colors. Maybe just a little bit like a color wheel like it has right now, but maybe McLighting is the thing. It sounds like McLighting has its own web interface. Wi-Fi manager and Arduino, branched your GitHub and started with it. Oh, Gerard, I need to see what you've done. How do I have my LEDs wired? Like that pretty much. I've got, one pin off of this. That's it. Thank you, Gerard. That would be awesome. If you would do that, I would approve it in a heartbeat. Magic Home LED controller with Tasmota firmware. Ooh. Let's look at McLighting. I saw the video, but you need to connect power on either end. Oh, yeah. Do you need to connect it? I have connected power in several places on mine, and it depends on the voltage. If you're using 12-volt lights, then you need to do it less often. If you're using the 5-volt lights, you'll need to do it essentially after every string of lights. So you'll need to run almost a parallel strand of 5 volts down the whole string as far as you're going with your lights. And then at the beginning of every, I don't know if you can even see them, but at the beginning of every strip of lights, they have 2 extra power wires right here, just a white and a red. And so you just tap in right there with 5 volts all the way down. Oh, do we have better effects than McLighting? Okay, cool. Somebody was asking something else though. Let me see. Let me go back for a second. Somebody asked an off-topic question and I read it and I want to bring it up. I want you to get an answer. Okay. Sorry for off-topic question. Have I had issues with the touch capacitive sensors? Not anything unexpected. Let's see. I have mine in switch mode 1 and switch topic 1 and relay on when touched and off when I stop touching it. Okay. Relay on. Switch mode 1. Is that the right mode? Is that the toggle mode? I don't have these memorized anymore. Let's see, he's got something over here about switch mode. Switch mode 1. While pressing and holding the button, it will send on. And when it releases it, you let off. So that's kind of like a push. So if you've got switch mode 1 pressed, then when you push the button, it'll send on until you let go. And then when you let go, it goes off. So I don't use that. I've used this switch mode 3 or 4 so that you have a toggle. So whatever state it's in, you push the button once and it'll switch it to the other state. So try that. Try putting it to switch mode 3 or switch mode 4. Okay. All right, let's do it. Is the data pin is still 5 volts for 12 volt power? No. So the data pin, you don't need to tie in anything else with the data pin. The data pin is the green one here in the middle, which you probably can't see, but the one in the middle. And you don't need to tie anything else into that. That can just keep on trucking on down all the lights. This is the only place you need to tie in anything. It's just these two. And what is it possible to set up Hassio on a VM and import a complete snapshot created on a Raspberry Pi? Yes, that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. And I don't think there was no compatibility issues at all. So the data line is really low voltage. I mean, well, it's all low, but the data line is like 3.3 or something. And it depends. So coming off of here is 3.3. I think what these like to have is 5 volts on the data line. So what you want generally is, or what a lot of people use is a, what do you call them? Logic shifter, right guys? So that even though your 3 volts is coming out of here, you sort of step it up a couple volts so that it is the right voltage for these. But I haven't had any problem with it. I haven't had any problem not shifting mine. But for probably the right way to do it, or the best way, or if you're having issues, if you're having flickering, or if you're having just troubles with the colors or fade or anything like that, then I would say use the logic shifter. So, alrighty. Totally possible. That's what snapshots are for. Thank you, Bobby. Yeah, that saved me. I mean, I still, when I lost everything with the Pi with MQTT Mageddon, it was still, I still lost a month plus worth of time on my setup, but it would have been worse if I couldn't just upload my latest full snapshot. So, and now with this thing being a VM, it makes snapshots. That was the other problem. The reason I didn't have a snapshot for several months was because it was taking forever to make a snapshot. Like I'd tell it to make a snapshot and it would take, a whole day almost, it felt like, for it to show up. And then I got to the point where it was my SD card was just too small because my database was 4 gigabytes, and every time I made a snapshot, it was huge, and so I couldn't make any more snapshots. But anyways, what happened with MQTT? Oh, Matheson, you missed it. It was a problem. It was a problem that occurred a couple weeks ago with an update of Mosquito. But if you have not experienced the problem, then don't worry, it's all past. We've all gotten past it. But that's what happened. And then what it did was it created a bunch of reads and writes on the SD card and just crashed. I think it's because it created reads and writes. I don't know exactly, but it just destroyed the SD card and we couldn't boot up anymore. And it happened to several people. It wasn't just me. It happened to a lot of people. So I called it MQTT Mageddon. It's kind of like Armageddon. Oh, did you have that problem? How did you fix it? Didn't affect the MQTT Mageddon with Docker. Oh, thanks. Man, Adrian, you guys in your Docker, you're just killing me. You're killing me. I'm starting to get the idea you think we ought to switch to Docker. I know the hints are subtle, but I'm starting to think maybe we should switch to Docker. No, go ahead and update to version 4 of Mosquitoes. No problem. If you fixed, what you need to do is just go into your configuration.yaml file and comment out anything. You don't need an MQTT heading in there anymore. Comment out what you have. You can go to your Mosquito broker, update it, and then start it back up, and then go to integrations and turn it on. We talked about it in a live stream a time or two ago, which probably has a timestamp. So go back and look through the last couple live streams. There should be one with a timestamp where I just kind of walked through how to fix it. But if you're on version 3 and you're not having a problem with MQTT, then go ahead and update to 4. You will not have a problem. Because the problem occurred going from 2 to 3 if you already had a configuration, if you already had MQTT set up in your configuration.yaml. That was what caused the problem. Full Docker is the Home Assistant way. You control it all, not someone else. Yeah, I know. All right, let's see. 7 strings. Yeah, you need a lot. What are you using? 5 volt? I guess Mark's got you covered there, Dave, right? Mark's got you covered. 975 LEDs on 1 pin. That should be okay, honestly. It should be okay. What happens is when you do what I read, and I don't know how right this is, but what I read was that every time you go from one of these chips to the LED to the next one, it's grabbing a little bit of voltage from your power line, and I guess maybe you're saying maybe it's logic shifting it up back to the right voltage, so that your data signal, as long as it starts with the right amount, it should be consistent at every LED, as long as the power that you're giving to the LED strip, just the plus minus voltage, is also adequate. And then it should be able to give whatever voltage you need for your data line. So that way the data line shouldn't lose voltage as it goes down the string, just the regular power line. And then it takes a little bit of power from those power lines to the data line to give it what it needs. That's how I understand it. 50 meters of 24 volt RGBW LED strips. How can you control with Node Red? MCU, please give ideas. Oh man, we got tons of ideas. Look, I've got a few videos about it. Rob from the Hookup has a few videos about it. Old Burra Automation is where I learned it from. Yeah, so there are, if you go to my channel on YouTube and look at there's a playlist for LEDs, and there'll be a bunch of videos on there. And then go to and if you need help, there's a lot of people talking about it right now. I think everybody's probably in the next week or so going to either get done with their installs for the year or give up. So, but right now and for the last few weeks, it's been a pretty hot topic in Discord and on Facebook, because a lot of people are getting those lights up, for Christmas holiday. But the best thing about them is that it's not just Christmas. It's all the time. New here, running Hassio as a VM. inside of Unraid. Best thing ever. Now it reboots instantly, insanely quick, not minutes. Yeah, that's Spartan. That's what we were talking about. That's kind of how we started today. It's nice. You got all your channel up today, Zach? Awesome. Fantastic. Somebody said something really nice about Travis too. What did they say? Ordered a Sonoff RF bridge as well as a USB TTL adapter from Banggood. How long did yours take to come? It's usually a few weeks, Matheson. It's usually at least a few weeks. It kind of depends on how much they have on hand or things like that, I guess. But I don't think I've ever received anything from Banggood in less than 2 weeks. And in some cases it's a month. So you don't run the LED strip with Tasmota? You can, but the effects are pretty limited on Tasmota. I was actually looking today, Mark, remember we were talking about what if you could go into Tasmota and add some effects? So I was looking at the I don't know what it is, the library or the part of the sketch for Tasmota that assigns those few schemes, I think they call them, LED schemes, and to see what it would be like to put more of them in. But I think maybe what Jared has for us, or Gerard, was it? Sorry, man, I'm saying your name wrong. It's not very nice of me. But it sounds like what we want is, something like that. Because if you could go, besides Home Assistant, just have a user interface of some kind, a website that the ESP is serving that you could then just go on and click different effects and change things. That would be really great for a lot of people who can't do, Home Assistant and the whole thing. So, hey man, how's it going, Rune? Hope you didn't order from AliExpress. Uh-oh. Haven't got any shipping info. Oh, really? That's interesting. You should, so Madison, there should be, you should have an account with Banggood. So you should be able to go in there and look at your orders. Should give you some information. SSL and passwords, all external access. Oh boy. Not many people talk about, important topic, security. Specifically what, Miguel and Media Cowboy? All SSL and password, all external access. You're talking about Home Assistant? Oh, but no status updates. I rarely get status updates. It seems like every once in a while you do. You'll get something that says, it arrived in the destination country or something, but not always. So yeah, with Home Assistant. So as far as security for Home Assistant, there was a time where you didn't even have to have a password, and that was a mistake. That was no good. Then came the time where it was, you really should have a password, because you've got this open port, and so most people did, hopefully, but some people didn't still. And if you had your Home Assistant instance, and you had a port opened on to the outside, to the internet, and no password, then you were just letting people into your configuration and everything else. And then if you have something set up like, like the configurator in Ator or IDE or something, you could probably access all that too. The way it is now with user authentication, I'm not a security master, but it seems like it's much more secure. I would definitely say use you don't even need an API password anymore. I guess you still need a password, but, and I don't understand the details of how the new authentication works, but the whole idea behind it is increased security. So nobody's going to be able to hack in. I don't open any other ports except the one for Home Assistant. And then if I want to get in and do anything else, like manage my configuration files and, change things and update things and edit things, then I use VPN. So, but I'm not a security master. I really don't know a lot about it. That's the problem with, I'm not a computer guy, just a dude. All right. What about MQTT security? So yeah, people do talk about it, MQTT being vulnerable as well. And if somebody gets into like a Sonoff or something, you're going to have a password in there potentially, network passwords, all those things. So again, use and that would be somebody close to your house, right? They'd have to be able to get onto your, well, maybe they would. I don't know. I don't open an MQTT port to the outside world. I don't think that's a good idea. And then what was I going to say? Oh, you put a password. I put a user and password on my broker. I think that's a smart thing to do. Not everybody was doing that in the past. So that's another good thing to do. And make it a strong password. But yeah, you want to be careful. You definitely need to be careful. I just don't, and I'm not in the same situation, right? I think if you're living in a place, say you live in New York City or someplace, and you're living in an apartment complex, and you might have 100 people within access of your Wi-Fi network, and you don't know 95 of them, and for all you know, a couple of them are bad actors that are going to try and steal information from their neighbors. Then you'd be in a different situation than I'm in. I've got like maybe 5 or 6 neighbors that could probably reach my Wi-Fi access, and nobody's parking a van out front to try and swipe things from anybody. So I'm in I feel like a pretty safe situation for that, other than I give my passwords out on the internet all the time. So let's encrypt an SSL ports forwarded. I don't have Let's Encrypt and SSL ports forwarded. I don't use SSL or Let's Encrypt. I don't use SSH. All I have forwarded, I guess I do have a VPN port open, right? I have a Pi that's running a VPN server, and that's how I connect for VPN. So I open a VPN port for that, and then my Home Assistant port, and that's it. I don't do the encryption. Maybe I should, but I don't. The biggest reason I don't use the encryption is because I hear constantly about the people that have problems getting it working. And so I don't know, I guess I'm just playing the odds maybe a little bit. Like, the likelihood that you're going to have a problem with your SSL setup is high. The likelihood that anybody is going to steal something from you if you don't have SSL is pretty low. So that's sort of the odds that my Home Assistant instance is not forwarded. From DuckDNS, if that's what you mean, I do have DuckDNS. But again, you don't need that's just the Home Assistant port. I have DuckDNS, but not Let's Encrypt. That's true. VPN setup for you, it's all through. Man, VPN setup. Did I talk about VPN on a live stream once? And how easy it is to set up that Pi VPN script? Super easy. DuckDNS and SSL is very easy to set up. I should probably do it. I get a lot of people that ask me about it, and I just don't know about it. I just haven't done it. You could use your spare Pi to build a magic mirror. I could. I have a huge mirror we got from a Salvation Army kind of place, the DI down here, and I have a mirror and then another frame that's the right size with glass on that. So we could do that double mirror thing. I do need to do a magic mirror and put some touch, capacitive touch buttons, the ones with no lights. That would be awesome. But can you only access your Home Assistant instance from the VPN? No. Nope. I can access my home because in my router, I opened a port, the port for Home Assistant, on this VM box, right? The IP address for the virtual machine. So when I set up DuckDNS, I tell it this is this is where it's running, and this is the port. And now when I go to the app, well, it's in the Home Assistant app, I connect to Home Assistant at home or when I'm away from home just fine. I don't have to do VPN. The only time I have to do VPN is if I'm going to get in and edit my configuration files. I hope that's making sense. I feel like I'm making that more complicated than it is. All I open is a port for Home Assistant, and then there's a port for VPN that's open as well. That's all. Yeah. You don't use 8123 for your outside port. Never use the local port as the WAN facing port. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. That kind of throws people off a little bit. If people are searching specifically for a port like the Home Assistant port 8123, then you might, you probably throw them off a little bit if you use a different external port. I concur. That's extremely unsafe without Let's Encrypt. Why? What, without Let's Encrypt? Because what? What am I sending? I mean, what's going through there that's going to be so sensitive? Help me, Matheson. Help me understand. Tried creating automations to keep them in sync, and they show one UI. Anyone having 4 climate controls in my house? Oh, to keep them in sync, only show 1 on the UI. We still had problems. 4 climate controls for your whole house. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, Scott. I'm not sure what the best way to do that would be. To have one. Can you have one? No, you can't have one climate that would control all the different switches. You'd have to have a different climate entry for each one. But you just want to see one and set it for the whole house, huh? Someone can intercept my password and it's easier to hack in general. I guess so. Do I trust my internal network in my house? I do. Maybe I shouldn't. So, super unsafe. Oh, man. Not using Let's Encrypt, is that bad? Sheesh. Hey, girls. Is it ready for bed?
No, when are you done?
Pretty soon. We're going to be done pretty soon. Let's Encrypt setup in the Docker and Unraid took a while to get working, but it seems good now. Should not open ports. Not even the Home Assistant port, not even the VPN port. Like, come on. Any IoT device in promiscuous can read your traffic. Plain HTTP password is sent in plain text. But when do I put my password in? Maybe I know. Maybe I don't know. Okay. Come back in a few minutes. We'll do the sign off. Okay. We have to scare the doctor. Yeah, you especially bad for a YouTuber. Yeah, I'm not saying it's not. What's my public IP? I'm not going to tell you. I've done that before. I've accidentally given out my public IP address and see, and then at the time, so I had something like my 3D printer. I had a port open for my 3D printer. Well, I had a password on my 3D printer, so you could pull it up. Anybody could pull up my page, but if you didn't have the password, you wouldn't be able to do anything. Unless you had the password, you couldn't print anything or do anything like that. S in IoT is for security because there is so much S in IoT. Only the VPN port. You would have your passwords saved in your browser. But I don't understand. Like, so if I'm use VPN and don't open a hole in my router at all, I could do that. Need to introduce him to the Security Now podcast. Yeah, probably. It'd probably be scaring me. Look up reverse port scanner Nmap from Hack Target. Okay, BK, I'll check it out. Because we all use secure passwords. When you log into Home Assistant, you're sending your password in plain text. Well, now we're using this. What about with this authentication stuff? What about that? Now that we've got this new user authentication thing for Home Assistant, is that not different? Because I guess I put my password into the Home Assistant app. If you're not using Let's Encrypt. Okay. All right. Well, what's the vote? Should I start using Let's Encrypt? Raise your hand. Okay. I believe you guys know more about it than I do. I don't, HTTPS is what matters. Okay. All right. I believe you. Thank you for looking out for me, and I do appreciate it. And I do believe it's probably, raises your hand. Yes, yes, yes. No. Randy says no. Raise your hand. Yes, yes, yes. You guys are awesome. You've been hacked this way. Everything was fine for many years until he set up DNS and then got hacked within weeks due to port scanning. Check out Shields Up. Oh, dang. All right. Yes. Okay. I'll get on it. There's been enough people that have asked, help me with Let's Encrypt or help me with this or that. So let's do it. We'll make that one of the topics of the next stream or the next video or something like that. And that'll be good. Encrypt everything. And then I'll have to thank Media Cowboy and Matheson for helping me stay safe. I do have a VPN, and I have a VPN on my phone. The trick is, like my wife, she wouldn't be able to do it. Look at Space Invaders YouTube videos. Okay, that'd be fun. Shields Up, security now. Let's make this a topic of the next live stream. That sounds great, Bobby. Let's do it. Should we do that? I'll put it on the poll. How's that? I'll put it on the poll, but my guess is it'll probably win because it's a pretty hot topic. So, Alian, if you're listening, my friend, let's put that on the poll for next week. Oh, next week, I'll be working on Sunday, so I don't know what time we'll do it next week. Just stick with VPN and you should be fine. Got your wife to use OpenVPN app on her phone. It's not that bad. Oh, you don't know my wife, BK. She's technically Ike's. OpenVPN for Apple. I use VPN. That's like I said, that's how I get to all of my stuff most of the time is I use VPN. I'm watching my girls. Anyways, as long as you're only connecting into your network is VPN, you're okay. Just don't buy any Chinese webcams. Deal. That's the deal. I want to do some Pi Zeros and webcams. OpenVPN on our Pi. Yep, that's what I have. That's what my VPN is doing. Wait. Are you talking VPN in or out? I'm VPNing in, I suppose, would be the way to do it. I'm not VPNing from, I don't have a VPN set up so that my IP address from my house appears like it's coming from someplace else. I'm at work and I'm logging in or I'm connecting to my home network over VPN that I do. Holly, stop. Jackson. Tasker, activate the VPN anytime I disconnect from Wi-Fi. Glenn, I've heard you talk about that before, and that's probably what I need to do. So when we do this setup, let's do it that way. If we're going to show everybody how to do it, and we're going to talk about security, we'll talk about Let's Encrypt. That's great. We'll set that up fine. But I don't want it to cause me any problems. I mean, I know getting hacked would cause problems, but I don't want the Let's Encrypt to cause a bunch of problems or make it so I couldn't connect to some things. But I like Glenn's solution because if you have a VPN, it should be pretty safe. And then if you set it so that if you're on your home network, it doesn't connect to VPN, but anytime you're not on your home network, it will connect to VPN. I like that solution a lot. So SSL is not a problem. Okay, Phil, I hope you're right. My crappy phone can't run Tasker. Mine probably can't. Dang it, you're right. You're right. It doesn't work with iPhone, huh? Dang it, figures. Every add-on has support for SSL. Yeah. Okay, fellas, perils of the crapple. Yeah, for sure. Holly's looking at herself in the TV. Okay, guys. Hey, I hope this has been a useful stream. I felt like I'm tired. This weekend, this long week, we've had family in town and we've been busy and staying up late and things. So I have felt like my energy was low on this stream compared to what it usually is. So I hope it was still useful. And I know that the stuff that Mark put together for the virtual machine is top notch and super useful. Bill, thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Bill. Appreciate that. That's fantastic. Don't shake the table too much, buddy boy. But anyways, guys, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you participating and for the things you helped me with. I mean, I have no problem. I have no problem admitting when I don't know something and letting somebody else teach me. So thanks a bunch. All right, guys. Let's see. Let me think about what I was going to say next. Well, the live stream, just watch for the giveaways, right? Watch for the giveaways. We're going to post on YouTube and Discord and Facebook. If you want the camera sign up for that. If you want we didn't even talk about the HA switch plates, but I'm going to give away at least one of those HA switch plates, maybe more than that. So we'll do those things too through whatever mechanism we find. So just watch for it. And then as far as the next live stream, it most likely won't be Sunday. If it is Sunday, it'll be late again because I'm on call next Sunday, so I'll have to work. And I guess that's it. Happy Thanksgiving. Ready? What? Hold on. She's telling me something. Okay. Holly wants me to tell you, if you don't win this time, you should still put your name in because you might win next time. Thank you, Holly. Okay, now let's do it. Ready?
As always, thanks for watching. Until next time, adios.
Okay. Adios, everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Adios.
Hope we helped you. Have a good night. Happy Sunday. Okay.